Welcome back to the final segment of our program. We have a couple of email questions which have come in from the public. If I could just start off with the first one for Marina. It goes as follows. What do you consider to be the most challenging part of your job as a writer and activist?
Being a public figure, I mean, you become such a lightning rod for all sorts of accusations and criticisms and all that. Sometimes it's hard to take. But I don't think that what I write is only my opinion. I think a lot of people feel the same way. I mean, everywhere I go, people tell me that what I say resonates with them. But somehow, because I'm the one who's saying it in print, in public, and all that, I become the one that people go for. I think that's tough, but I've gotten used to it, developed a thicker skin over the years.
Would you consider running for public office? That's another question which
no.
is...
Short answer, no. No, I want a life.
Tini,
yes.
Coming back to Rumah Nur Salam, I understand you have a program which you're hoping to set up another center. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about the project.
I don't know if you're talking about the Youth Hub, which...
I believe that's it.
Okay, the Youth Hub, the work on construction for the Youth Hub started yesterday actually. The Youth Hub is actually a centre for the youths, obviously, from 13 to 21 years old. Our place right now is too small. Like I said, our one shop house, our 3-story shop house holds about 426 children registered, and we have about 125 children a day just for food alone. And the age varies between 0 to 17. So now with this youth hub, we have the 13 to 21-year-olds where we can actually focus on their issues, whether it's AIDS related or sexual education or the need for vocational training, alternative educational programs, counseling programs, just income generation programs to give them more empowerment tools and more skills, or to hone in skills, so they could just be more effective and better citizens when they go out into the world. There is also, I think, for us a serious need to understand that, just because you turn 18 and you're no longer legally considered a child, doesn't mean you have all the tools and skills necessary for you to go out and go conquer the world. And we need to track to make sure that the 18 to 21-year-olds, especially for the children that we work with, a lot of them come out of welfare homes and safe houses and safe homes. We need to make sure that just because you're 18 and you turn out in the streets, that they have some kind of support systems where we can watch them at least for 3 years and be able to provide them with these support services they need, so we can track as well as ensure that we provide them with whatever it is they need, or try to anyway. So that's the whole purpose of the youth centre, and we're hoping to finish. We've been given a mandate. We have 3.5 weeks to open. That's it. So we open.
We have amongst our audience quite a number of college students. What advice could you give to them in terms of in the field of volunteerism? I mean, we talked about career prospects earlier on. You said that if you ask many, most of them would say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer, but somehow the idea of perhaps being a social worker ranks pretty low down the rankings.
Well, I think, I mean, it's up to every individual, really, I wouldn't go into it if I really had no inclination to. So, don't force yourself. But it's very rewarding. It's a very, very rewarding type of work to do, because it challenges you in so many different ways, and it gives you skills. It gives you skills that would be of good use even if you then went into the private sector. I've had some of my staff, they come and work for us, they rise up the ranks, and then they leave and they go into the private sector, and everything that they've learned working with us is put to good use. And that's what made them valuable, in fact. It's very good on their CV, what they've been doing, because they learn. Look, in the NGOs, we're not just sitting there feeding old people or children. We're learning skills, we're managing. It's about management, it's about program management, it's about budgeting, accounting, financing, looking for funding, which is a very, very specialized job. And so you pick up skills just like you would in any other job. pay-wise, it might not be the same as a super top job in the private sector, but it's coming up. And so, you know, I would really encourage young people to look at the social work sector, the NGO sector, as an alternative avenue for employment, because it's definitely a career option, and I've seen people do very, very well in it.
Tini, do you have anything to add to that?
No, absolutely. I totally agree with Marina. I think everybody should at least give it a shot and just try it out first as a volunteer basis, and then see what happens. But I think it's something that everybody should explore. There is no pressure. You should try it out and see, because it does use every single skill that you possibly could learn and have learned in school. Absolutely. You get to apply it in real life. Yeah.
Speaking of fundraising, obviously we are seeing very, very tough global economic environment.
Yeah.
Malaysia is not spared.
Yeah.
Has it impacted
Oh, yeah.
on fundraising activities, be it for the
Yeah.
AIDS
Oh my
organization,
God,
or for your
Oh yeah, we just had a
homes?
huge funder pull out.
course.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, you know, but it doesn't mean that we have to stop. Our programs have to run.
We have to do.
So we maybe get more creative in how we find money, but and you know, you have to. I think the economy is going to turn around at some point. So you want to be there in the front line, you know, when people are ready to give again.
Yeah.
So you have to keep, you know, ourselves, our work at, you know, in people's minds, at the forefront of people's minds, and not think that we've disappeared. Yeah.
Okay, we have run out of time, unfortunately. If I could just end with a quote from William Wordsworth, which reads, that the best portion of a good man's life is little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and love. With that, I'd like to big thank you to Dr. Paduka Marina Mahathir and Dr. Hartini Zainudin for sparing a moment of the busy time to be with us for this program.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.